All right, well, we just saw Tammy, and the way that this show works is we review the movie in two sections. The first section is a spoiler-free overview of what we thought of the movie, whether we would recommend it or not. And then the second part, we'll get into more detail, and if you don't want to get any spoilers, you can cut the review off at that point and not have us read anything for you. So, Tammy is... it's a Melissa McCarthy movie. She wrote it. She's the star of it. It's not nearly as funny, like, consistently as you would probably expect it to be, which is kind of a good thing and a bad thing. I think if they just went for wall-to-wall comedy, it would get really old really fast. But at the same time, it's very... you know, there's funny moments, there's kind of over-the-top moments in it, but it's not something that is just really hysterical all the way through. It kind of reminds me a little bit of, especially with Gary Cole showing up, it kind of reminds me of the, like, father-son story in Talladega Nights. That's kind of the way it came across to me. I wouldn't say rush out and see this one in the theater. It's not really... It's not a $13 movie, but it's not terrible either, and it's certainly not, you know, a bad comedy, or, you know, close to something like A Million Ways to Die in the West, which was still ranks as like the worst comedy I've seen all year. What did you guys think?
I really liked it. I think in contrast to you guys, I think that probably it is neither romantic nor a comedy, and I think they probably didn't sell it appropriately. I think it, like...
I mean, you're not going to convince me that they didn't write this as a comedy.
Right. Yeah, but I think that it's more that... I think it's a better story than just Melissa McCarthy being slapstick. I think that she wrote it as a vehicle to really show off her skills, and that the way she sold it, she had to sell it, was on her comedy chops.
Okay.
That was my take on it.
Okay.
This is funny. I'm probably split pretty evenly. It's my first Melissa McCarthy comedy that I saw her on Saturday Night Live. She was funny.
You didn't see Bridesmaids?
No, never saw that yet. So there was definitely funny moments, but it wasn't as much of a comedy as I thought it was going to be. There was almost a little bit of a dramedy angle to it.
Yeah.
And Talladega Nights, sure enough, I guess Will Ferrell and Adam McKay actually produced this.
Yeah.
So it did feel that way. It definitely felt like that kind of vibe. Not a whole lot seems to happen really in the movie. It's kind of a quiet kind of movie with some funny moments, but overall enjoyable, but not as crazy funny as I thought it was going to be.
So that's the quick version. If that sounds like something you want to go see, please don't let us spoil anything for you. Otherwise, keep watching it. We'll talk a little bit more detail about what we thought. So I get that, you know, a good comedy is a grounded comedy, and you have a little bit of drama in there. You have a little bit of a serious moment, and they have kind of a serious moment here and there. But they were flipping out jokes nonstop. And the problem was that they were not landing with any kind of frequency. It was sort of like by accident, like 1 out of every 15 or so would hit, or something. There wasn't enough like visual comedy in the movie.
Right.
It was all dialogue driven comedy, and if you have, it's the problem that I expected this movie to have, which is you've got Melissa McCarthy writing her own dialogue and performing her own character, and when she's a part of a much bigger cast, that's a funny character to throw into the mix. But it's not a all the way through the movie kind of thing. Like, it doesn't work if you have it that consistently.
That did strike me. I know the movie's called Tammy, but Tammy is literally in every single scene, and it would have been nice to cut away from her for a while so we could appreciate her coming back into it. It did feel like that. She's in literally every scene.
And because I think I would have liked to see more with Bobby. What's his name? Bobby and Earl.
The two guys.
Like a little bit more about their background and what was going on their backstory.
Well,
see the story from different angles.
Right, yeah.
I would have been fine with them splitting having more of Susan Sarandon developed, like instead of just she's there when Tammy's there kind of thing.
She was good though.
She was good, and they could have done some fun things with flashbacks with her and some other things like that. But yeah, just overall, it felt like it really felt like a movie that was written for somebody that can really pull off dialogue-driven humor. And she can do that, but only a bit at a time. Like, you can't just keep going and going and going.
I think they totally underutilized Dan Aykroyd, too. Like, he was just her
Yeah,
dad.
that was short.
Like, that was all. Like, he wasn't...
Yeah, he's kind of... He's not a good person to bring to the party, really. I mean,
Right.
he hasn't been good in anything in a long time. But yeah, I mean, I thought Susan Sarandon was fine in it. Again, they gave her a lot of, they had her be kind of wacky drunk grandma, but not really. Like, she never went over the top with it. Like, to the point where you were like, whoa, look out, Susan Sarandon's crazy. It's like, no, she's just sort of like doing the kind of things you would expect her to do. But I mean, for what it is, it's good, and it's better than I expected it to be. I honestly expected it to be like, that the trailer would have every single joke in it, and the rest of it would be just, that the type of humor where they just sort of beat one joke over your head for 10 minutes, and then they move on to the next joke.
Which in some ways I was glad, because it did have a bit of heart and soul to it, the film overall. There was some even touching moments, and even though the romantic angle seemed a bit forced, a little bit formulaic, that felt,
Yeah.
But from her, like, she did have a bit of development going on, and, she's kind of doesn't know where her home is right now, and she's breaking up with her husband, and she's going on this journey, so there is a bit of meaning to it, but...
Oh, yeah, and speaking of wasted casting, they had Toni Collette in this movie.
Yeah, I thought she'd had a
She had like a line or two, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, she was just there to, like give these
Not much
wide-eyed
going on.
reactions. And
Yeah.
she was... And Toni Collette's awesome. I mean, yeah, they really could have done more, I think, with that. The scene after the end of the movie, I thought, was, like, one of the better scenes with her, where she, like, is leaving him for the...
Right. For the guy from
The fast food guy.
Yeah.
So... I don't know what else to say about
Not
it.
a whole lot to say, really.
It's a movie. Well,
There are worse ways to spend a Tuesday night.
This is true, and I've seen worse comedies, and I've seen worse movies this year. So, anyway, take that for what it's worth. You'll probably enjoy it if you like Melissa McCarthy. You'll probably enjoy it. The trailer doesn't give everything away, but it does give away quite a bit. So, anyway, that's our review. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out all the rest of our reviews. If you like the way we do these things, like the videos, subscribe, and check us out on DaleMaxfield.com. Thanks for watching.